because of the oppressive nature of the Swazi society as created, on April 12th. Itakhumbula futhi uthi maneng eMaswati lokufaya cards, as we always say, the 2 MPs plus the other one who is now in exile, who are sitting in jail. And the reason for all this is because we are a society that does not have democracy. We are a society that is oppressive. We are a society where all power resides in one center, which is the monarch. Konke lokhu kungumthelela April 12, 1973. Kungako ke sikhanza umqoka thina ukuthi we can never forget the fateful events of April 12, 1973. We'll always ensure ukuthi lo suku nalifika siyakhumbula eMaswati ukuthi we are in the call for demanding democracy because we want to claim our rights as a people. Let me allow Comrade here, President Makhanya, to make input around what other activities are lined up around April 12th.
Asivusele sibonge kusihlalo wethu ku-multi stakeholder forum Comrade Thulani Rudolph Maseko,
Yes.
for leli thuba. Lesingathanza nje kukusho ngiloko ukuthi letinye tetinhlelo lesitihlelile for lo suku la April 12 lifake ekhatsi ema-pickets nema-blockades in our main port of entry njengelive mhla ka-12 April ku-port of entry yase-Oshuk noma-ke Ngwenya. Kutawuba ne-picket that is done jointly by the Mass Democratic Movement eSwatini kanye ne-Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, in the lead, being one of COSATU's biggest affiliate in how, where again nato tinini tetfu kulo mzabalazo wenguleko kutabe tisibambisi. Kutabe also kune Maswati njengoba Ngcamana sashilo laselitsingisweni latfola ngaphandle kwalelive under the leadership of United Eswatini Diaspora kanye neSwaziland Solidarity Network. So we'll be having those pickets. Lenye itawube ise-Oshuk njengoba umuntu abesashilo, lenye ibe kuMathamu noma lokanye ke eJeeps Reef lapho khona sitawube sipicketha khona. Kutawuthi ke ngelanga lelilandzelako mhla ka-13 April sibe nalomunye futhi umbhikisho pheceleti picket stroke blockade lesitayibamba egedeni lakaLavumisa lokanye Golela. Again sitayibamba as Mass Democratic Movement eSwatini ngokusebenzisana ne-United Eswatini Diaspora Swaziland Solidarity Network kanye ne-Tripartite Alliance eSkhwahlande the KwaZulu Natal province lefake ekhatsi inhlangano ye-COSATU nawo onke ama-affiliates awo, inhlangano ye-South African Communist Party kanye nenhlangano ye-African National Congress KwaZulu Natal. Sitawuphindze ke sibe nalenkulu i-blockade mhla ka-19 April in all main ports of entries kulelive. Isemndenini munye Sigodlo kanye nalabo labadvutane naso. As sihamba nje emigwacweni egcwele ama-pothole silinyalelwa ngemasolve etimoto. Tonke letintfo leti They're constant and daily reminder kithi njengesifo semaswati lokwakuthi usho ukuthini April 12 kithi sitikhumbula ke lokho with the sole intention to re-energize and reinvigorate our commitment and effort to the struggle to bring to an end.
So with the embarrassment they ended the SADC summit last week by our own government, because the diplomacy we know the truth. It's an embarrassment for us as sources. Last week SADC summit. We'll mend in the ball bar. It was the only way to correct that is to engage us and pull in SADC and kickstart the process, dialogue. Because the umdlalo labaseti kwawo nyalo it won't help us. Fire with fire, it's not helping anybody. The sooner we come to our senses and say indeed there's something wrong in Swaziland and engage on those issues, the better for us all. It's our strongest appeal as leaders, and we hope we look dilute information. We will put this band of Islatin, good Umbrota Islatin. Swazis were living in Swaziland who are saying things are not right. And we are here to engage, we are here to talk, we know the issues. Mwabang Lojo is a later start of Mukabang would say, now we get that's in the almost not common to those.
When I'm not coming to the host. And I'm going to do one or two questions before we can thank you. For the leaders in front of you, can ask whatever you want to ask them. I'm sure they'll be quite with the task.
But nje maybe ngabanga umbuto wesibaya ngoba vele labakangwane bacizelela ukuthi iprocess iqala khona esibayeni nasiva ke nathi lo ukuthi ngathi lo economy ufuna amendment maybe from the people ukuthi say iba khona dialogue ngaphandle kwalesibaya. But ngoba phela njengaloku ushilo hlatshwa ukuthi inkosi ngebantu, so lenda sesibayini ungwenyama ngasiphi uhamba ngetinyawo mhlawumbe uhlela lapha phasi, so yalalela ke bantwini ukuthi hey athe emaswati kufanele ukuthi kube ne-dialogue outside isibaya, maybe athole leyo mandate nabasho athole leyo mandate ukuthi bangambuti kusasa ukuthi wayithatha le mandate yokuthi nihlangane eRoyal Villas noma nihlangane kule indzawo enkulu. So sengababuda lokuthi kule issue yesibaya ngoba bakhona la phakathi kwenu ema-political parties la naloko ukuthi ake sesiye le ndazi ukuthi ngabe nonke nithini vele ngale issue ukuthi asiye nesibayeni silalele sibone ukuthi ngabe iyatholakala ile mandate noma kweleka nesibayeni, then bese sesiyabona we take it from there chobeke siyembili noma still insist
ngeke uyithole anywhere ku-supreme law of the country. Uyasibita ndlondlo lekumalithi emhlangano semphakathini, you never find leyo mhlangano leyo somewhere anywhere in the constitution. Sizathu ke nasi sibaya is a carefully controlled royal activity where the royal dynasty and royal aristocracy had to find a way where they establish consensus that sort of ensures ukuthi naloyo unalo livi in controlling the subjects. Why are we saying that? Buka sibaya, ubuke the elements of sibaya as contained in the constitution. One, it must be held in the royal residence of Indlovukazi. That was to ensure that Indlovukazi is not left out in ensuring that nayo inayo isay kule carefully planned royal project ye controller ema subjects. 2, it must be checked by His Majesty the King. Again, power control and power balancing exercise. 3, Bantu beNkosi netikhulu must be present. These are elements of Sibaya. If any of the elements are missing, awungefiki esibayeni. 4, it must be attended by adult Swazis. Sekunale element ke ukuthi it's the highest policy making platform. Me and you seated here, who knows? There's not a single national police. I challenge anyone to point us to any national police that can say the policy la February. Some of them are limbless today in an attempt to give a mandate to this ruler today who go about and fooling all those who are gullible. That for him
traditional bewindlela ukuthi ngalo ukhosi lo kuyaniketwa isignificance yabo baniketwa ukuthi batawe ngeceremony le traditional but itsine la sikhona khona nya sisekwakheni leave nekulungisa leave emaswati na besifuna imandate yabo. They are scientific and well known instruments lesingawasebenzisa ukuthola imandate emaswati and nasikhumbula kahle thina ekwadi kwethu nakwathiwa iparliament una 59 wema constituencies lesingazange sesihambisane nawo ngalendlela lakhethwa ngayo but the only barometer lesinayo lo ukuthi emaswati ahlangane decide ukuthi naba abantu lesithi kumbe nasibabuka sithi sabakhulumisi bahambe bawubuka lapha ukuthi bemenjani oja ukukhumbula mina kune barometer leyake yasakha sibaya ukuthi scientifically singasho sithi imandate yethu as a country was at one point mandated by the people as ukuthi sibaya vele would be exercise lesitayisebenzisa ubuketa ukuthi senda njani kuphuma out ne solution yethu nekuthi kwayena ke lo 73 lokungina lo wahlukanisa emaswati nebukhosi wafika kanjani sitawukhumbula sonke ukuthi 73 phela akayanga esibayeni nakalethwa. It was outside of Sibaya kwakhiwa nemasotsha for the first time in the history of the country ngokuthi bekade lo muntu ukuthi wena lokungekho emthethweni lawo masotsha wawa institute ngalo 12 of April 1973 aqhamuke emasotsha singazange sesiwabone singemaswati to instill ifear ne-victimization kula maswati. So le mfundo yayilasothwa nanya solo nanyalo solo wa victimized and you still live under fear. So now uthi ke ufuna kuhamba ukukhulumise abantu besibayeni solo le fear ne victimization ikhona likhuluma njani freely le Swati under the same institution yesibaya. So mina ngithi akusilo liqiniso lokho ngoba nangikhumbula kahle speechini sakhe sobuza uthi emaswati bantu labangasi intelligent enough ukuthi bangakhona ukucabanga ba determine ifuture yabo ngaleso sizathu leso ngikhanza mina ngimo intelligent with power ukuthi ngakhona ba decide labantu akazange wayicela yena imandate yalamaswati nakathatha le power. He never did in April 12. He just took the power. So why today nasesifuna ukukhuluma ngendzaba ukuthi sifuna ipower ibuye kithi bese kuthiwa ifuna imandate kanti ngalo 12 April ayizange yafunwa le mandate. That's a fundamental issue lokufuna ukuthi isiphendule. 2005 constitutional making process. Sikhuluma namhla kude ngisho yinye info le scientific ukuthi ile date letshengisa ukuthi le constitution ya 2005 yasapota abantu labangakanani based kula maswati lawa lakhona ngikhumbulane ukuthi even i institution ye majuries le ntala kangwane specifically requested that in order for them to come and say vele Maswati inkosi correct le kule ndlela yokuthi le constitution is supported bala Prince David kumnikeza le date ukuthi vele nanga eMaswati lavuma ukuthi the constitution of 2005 is supportwa ngeMaswati. So even that constitution in its own making, we still find it fundamentally questionable. Azange sesiyisupport ayizange seyivule emalungelo usiyokukhumbula 73 was about the three spheres of power abesenkosini linye 2005 is still the same institution of powers ukuthi solo asenkosini kude umehluko lokhona. So ngibona sithi ke thina ke asikholelwa lokho ukuthi sibaya will resolve our issue. Sikholelwa ukuthi mediation is a process let us see. And nakathi yena ufuna ukuthi athole mandate leqhamuka kubantu eMaswati ukuthi atokhona ukucala ukukhulumisa idialogue. Akusiliqiniso lokho. Every day we have United Nations annually ayo presenter lapha akayiceli mandate yethu kuyosimelela ku-United Nations. Uvele ema decisions awabeke lapha sithi khanze nathi sesiphathe and of imithetho lemisha yemihlaba lesingakake thina savumelana nayo. So unawo lamandla ukuthi decide it's either yena is willing to negotiate or not. But nakathi yena ufuna 1.2 million webantu bakhona ukukhuluma sibaya is too small for that. It's impossible. Ngokuthi angakhona afaka 1.2 million webantu besibayeni bakhona ukumtshela ukuthi bafuna ini. Ne process yekwenda lokho futhi angeke akhona ekuyenda. That's why you talk about the representative democracy. So sithi ke thina ke I willingness ayibekile kule monarchy to dialogue. Ema processes ukuthi ke sithola njani I mandate leyabantu asikhulumise etafuleni. Sivumelana etafuleni ukuthi cha nayi process nawe inkosi lotayisebenzisa sivumelana naye nani nini nayi process lendayisebenzisa uthola imandate yabantu ngoba imandate akusiyena kuphela loyifuna sonke siyayifuna kufuna sivumelane ngalama mandate ukuthi sitawathola njani etafuleni sesihleli ukuthi inkosi imandate sitawuhamba itfole kanje nathi sitawuhamba sitfole kanje noma sivumelana ukuthi imandate sitayithola on what form and what nature. But the challenge lekhona lokuthi afuniwa imandate before it's running away from an issue of accountability to negotiate and sit down and accept lokho ukuthi kunebantu abangajabuli ngekuphatha kwabo. Yeah.
Boss, you want to say something? Two things. One, so ayithandza le nto
No, that's the question.
Yeah. But ngoba sawubudile and I've got high respect for you. I come a long way. Msuthu uyabona indzaba yesibaya chairperson we-MSF so ikhuluma kakhulu nale leadership seyikhuluma kakhulu. You can have it, take a reference ku-nation yalasimani nation and the other one nation. You will get a clear picture of what we're saying indzaba yesibaya. But I think somnyama ushaya inhloko lapho. Ushaya inhloko somnyama ukuthi sichamukaphi nale issue yesibaya. Kwamngenako Msuthu. Yabona na umuntu ubeka urepeater one and the same mistake. Sibese sibuthatha njengesibula, nesibhukubuku, nesilima. We've been to Sibaya. If you can check the records back, pro-democracy movement leaders have been to Sibaya. And we've tried to embrace the idea of Sibaya. Satulana at the end of it, egg on the face. Now we can't just be repeating that mistake every day. The agenda lesikhuluma ngayo le yepolitiki. And lo muntu lesikhuluma ngayo le politiki is seriously inside the issue of politics. Angeke kakhona ukuphakamisa bese uthi asiyo engagement esibayeni sakhe. And I think lower back clear. And again, I still want to emphasize the issue of peaceful engagement. Okay. Because we are Maswati, it's not respect. And we are saying let's engage. Properly engage in the issue. Let's buy. I'm going to stand let's buy. Let's buy suit. Angeke phela siyethi. because we've been there. Sesikutshelile even way before ukuthi kwendekani kulabanye labakhuluma sibaye. And ngeke sikumele lokho each time siyakhona sibitwa ngamagama. The last time bantu basesibayeni sikuze 2. Can you imagine the nasesiyakhona ufuna ukuthuko ngenhlamba ostate lapha ezemini? I don't think lo wokujenza mhlabani. We can't really relegate ourselves to that far. I think let respect why you should also pose. I would say there's a thin line between respect and the. So I think Yalos lovely like the beginning. And I think it's high time the more that is on Yama assassin was in la chicken pogos of it. It's an assassin. We've been enlightened and we want to go along those lines. And let's never sit for we see my engagement is from it's all in the youth.
Yeah.
The youth is not the corner of my engagement. That is why it's in a small tough where in everybody will be there. Unga being the youth, they paranisul about so you can see youth. So now the youth in the Makaya, they were the she's a little Makaya. So ukulu kelele sikusho ngoba labo Jan van Riebeeck lesafundisa swabona thina. Nokuthi insethe una uyi-draw shape nemehlo lang4. Wahlula kuphendula lokho so failing. We can't allow our own children to go through that route. And want them to have a say. Because the education system lekhona is not working. Lokho abantu bayendile bayisebenza abafunza baphuma kwe-university but they've got nothing to show for it. And yiyo ke sithi ke Sotho angeke ke sichubeke siye lapho kangwane. Siyokhulumisa lama-issue lawo. Lama-issues lawo thina sicabanga ukuthi we've wasted so many resources, human and otherwise, to try and prepare and engage in lama issues. Sada could be doing it, be doing it, and we even took time on our own and engaged professionals. Sakema documents, Sahamba, Samniga, Sadak, and those are resources. So, as far as I'm going to old men, which is legal. Nalamu we want Swazi people to respect that. And the king himself must respect that. It's at least that corner Maswat who are taking it upon themselves to say, we can correct this mess without knocking for resources. The 22 million to corner and pay and can in your Kutuzana Ira. What 22 million you move Seattle, you move 22 million, now 60 ban niche. As funge good, that's it. There's no clues on my issues. And Lomniga, let's not Kurumai Alama powers like that. Muye, let's not from Guya. Smash nigga tell timber, the band is to Kurums Alama powers like that. So I bet yes, Mungo as spoon we Kalen boards and as your Kurums on my issues. While in boards, I spawn a general subjects. You want to talk governance issues. And want to remove governance issues from that person. That should be clear.
I see, Vale. So I think you have been answered very well, fully by the leadership. I think the issue that Salah would see in your question, you seem to suggest that there are some from within the pro-democracy movement that seem to suggest Uzagi was by. None of us is saying that.
No.
The position, remember, when we went to Boxback, we all agreed about the principle that says if any dialogue has to happen, it can happen as by an or any other traditionally based institution. We all agreed on that. I think what others are saying now are saying that people can go there not with a view to dialogue. They're saying they'll go there to protest. I think it's fundamental to make that distinction. So none of our pro-democracy colleagues are saying they'll go to for dialogue. I think that must be very clear. We still remain with the position that says if any meaningful process must be done, it must happen at a neutral venue where we can sit as equal partners on the process. were shooting down Sibaya with the contempt that it deserves fundamentally, because you can't go there, like leaders have said, you can't go there and be reduced into subjects. Sit on cow down. No, the cat would have been there the night before, you're made to sit there. They would have done all the mess that you can think of. And as a human being, are then made to go and sit there and listen to someone pretending to be talking to you. You know, it can't happen. We can't allow a situation where we're being dehumanized in our own country. So I think that's fundamental to say. So there is no way any one of us that says we need to go to Subaya to dialogue. And we can't stop the king from calling Subaya as this is fit, because it is his call. What he's going to do when he gets there, we can't have got no control. As Joshua Umlang and Joshua has called Subaya before and called us all sorts of names. So you won't go to someone who is out to in his own backyard and you won't have any defense to say. So we are calling for a process that will be legitimate, in our view, a process that will comply with international best practices on how you run a process of dialogue to resolve an impasse. You know, there seems to be denialism on the part of the Ken government. For as long as Gunale and we pretend I was good at thinking on the impasse will continue. And leaders have said we are concerned about, you know, what is happening in the country right now. The only thing we can say is that the ground is so fertile, you know, for this environment to continue in the absence of a clear commitment on the part of the Ken government to engage with the people that they say they don't exist, which is totally untrue. You can't say you don't know who to speak to when you know they exist in this country, political parties, except what everybody recognize because you feel that you can rough shock the people. In council, have been well addressed by the leaders.
If we not say, okay, multi-party, political parties, Naiman, 22 million sheet of us, and civic education, Funzi Sabando, multi-party democrats, Nikurulege, Emapoisa, Anantupi, Ningel Lantanza corner, Nigeta the cards, and among 6 months, no Miaga, Baluba appreciate it. So now I'm a naye nanifundisa kude lopasa msalomoni fundisani ngetikudla dihlengani bese ke sekuyayiwa eshokeni ingakwemukela lo.
No, before the leaders can come, referendum on what? Well, it's important to agree. If you are going to go to a referendum, one agree on the question of referendum. So you can't say people must choose between Tingon and multi-party democracy.
Okay.
We can't be compelled to choose between freedom and oppression. The right of the people to elect and form a government is a fundamental right. You can't be made to choose whether one to be free or not to be free. I think that's a simple answer to that question, but police are going to.
You can't choose a Unama.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying referendum there must be a question.
Okay.
The people must say yes or no to it.
Yes.
What is that question for referendum? You can't say people must choose whether they want Ngunda or multi-party democracy. Because multi-party democracy is a fundamental right. Okay. You don't have to choose what I want or don't want it. It is there for you. So we can't allow a situation like that. Let alone to talk about which we must first create an environment that conducive for meaningful participation. That's what we want. One environment that will be conducive for the people to engage with the political issues of the country, but not to choose between freedom and oppression. We can't allow that. But the leaders can engage with that question as they see fit. That might.
No, ngicela ngingena nje lokho kunetimbo letinegotiable nale-negotiable. One of the most important parts, our right to exist is non-negotiable because we exist. Ngeke bezokuthi ngihamba ngiye referendum ngiyofuna ilungelo lami lokuthi ngiyaphila noma ngiyafa. Yabona vele ngiyaphila ngikhona. So it's not negotiable. Sengisho ukuthi the right yokuthi kube nema political parties is a fundamental human right. That's what I'm trying to say. it's not negotiable ukuthi utangithwena ngihambe ngiyoenda i-referendum ukuthi uyangivumela ukuthi ngibe i-political party noma awungivumeli lilungelo lami lekutalwa lelo ukuthi ngibone ukuthi mina ngiphila njani ngisebenza njani. It's not negotiable. Inkahle kahle lana kunemuntu lokufuna umbophe ukuthi webelungelo lami nga-1973 ngalokhu ngekho emthethweni hayi ukuthi ngaya ku-referendum ngafuna ngibophe umuntu wengitshontsha lelungelo. I-referendum bekufuna yenteke lona nga-1973 nakatshintsha i-constitution ayizange ithi lena ngileya akayibulale le constitution nawakhumba i-constitution ya-73 ithele ni-issue ukuthi nange ama-processes lotawenda kule constitution ya-1968 lotawenda lotosebentele tukwawo le yena akazange awulandzela leyo mthetho wale constitution in order to amend whatever issues beyafuna kuyi-amend instead wathatha i-constitution wayifaka ekhikhini. So nguye lo nelicala bekufuna aboshwe akaboshwanga. Lelami ilungelo mina ngeke bese uthi ngihamba ngiyolinegotiate angilinegotiate vele lami. I think that one must be very clear. It is our right. It's not negotiable. It cannot be going through a referendum whatsoever because a referendum has got nothing to do with a human right issue.
Yeah, maybe one get into Bahol. Mina Zalam Daukara was a solo. Maybe the question itself is misplaced. We are not in a struggle for multi-party democracy. We are in a struggle for liberation. So we're not fighting for multi-party democracy. We're fighting for liberation from royal supremacy and royal dictatorship. We are born again, Kasolo, when Swapuza imposed the 1973 on the decree on Emaswat, he did not just take away the lungelo labo lekhetha nekwakha hulumende through Emapati. He took away their freedoms. Kumbula phela Kasolo. As a consequence of 1973 decree, 60 days detention was introduced. The right to be presented to an independent court of law and to have your matter tried fairly, and the right was imposed. That has nothing to do with multi-party. So they're not, and that's why Sihlalo earlier spoke about the fact that we are inviting Emaswat to follow and participate kulama series of lectures leswabamba about 1973 decree. Amongst other things, sifuna lo enlighten Emaswat looks ungani 1973 decree. So the leaders are correct. You see, your question seemed to say bantu bakhetha between Emapati and between Tingundla, as if that is the source of conflict. You know, it is this misdiagnosis of the problem. Leyenda kuthi inkosi nangabe ni attend le mihlangano yabo in media interaction or briefing with the Prime Minister and all these people, you don't ask pertinent and poignant questions. For instance, size siyak dialogue nje, what bans dialogue in this country? What bans dialogue in this country? It's Tingundla and its myriad of legislations that are anti-freedoms. Public Order Act. Yonke a litany of yonke le mitsetfo le. Leyenda ukuthi Emaswati angakhona ukuhlangana a dialogue about their own experience of oppression. Emimangweni Kasolo lasiphila khona. Emaswati akakhona ukubita imihlangano ngaphandle kwepermission yendvuna. So Swazi's can't dialogue in this country. So the first question that we must be asking ourselves, yes,
maybe kule issue liberation understand but ngicela ukuthi inkosi nayo ngathi konke lenkhala ngakho ngifuna ukuthi libe liberated liphile nje ngendlela lenifuna ngayo ningaphinde siqhubeke le nkundla ukuthi it's not about multi-party. So if it's not about multi-party, it's about liberation. I'm giving you the liberation, but in return, the nkundla system of government.
No, phela mzala angeke Mswati athi usinike liberation aphinde unilateral decide ukuthi retainer ini. Let me tell you what could possibly happen and what is most likely would happen if we were given that space. Maswati emanating from the dialogue about their own experience of oppression might actually decide ukuthi akasamfuni yena lo Mswati. So it's not going to be about nginsikelana licatha ngibantwana ndawo hlagalu abanemfata amkhiphe edvabeni kodwa sibinzi oxtail idwangeni. That is not what we are about. That's why we are saying we are engaged in a struggle for liberation. His own position shall be an outcome of deliberation and dialogue of Maswati, taking stock of their lived experience, nebukhosi naye included in power. So kutaba ngaMaswati let's siyakujabulela ukuthi vele thina sihambe emgwaqweni ema-potholes kube kunemfothele ukuthi sema Rose Rolls. Kutaba ngaMaswati during their dialogue
Engage njani naMaswati 1.2 million people siba engage njani
ba-engagwa ngibani?
Asengithi nje mzala kunalelo bandla angathi bengilandzela idialogue ukuthi kusentiwa kanjani.
No, that is that I think let's not confuse negotiations and dialogue. Those are two different things. You see, by the time you sit like that, you are negotiating what each party believes ukuthi bamphathise kona le constituents. But each dialogue is about the people dialoguing about their own experience of oppression. So each dialogue ayidingi facilitate walibandla libekwe ngumswati esibayeni. A Maswati needs to be allowed space and time to dialogue. So thina kumalinza sita dialogue about our own experience yana i-airport le lapha and lesikomlazi la sakhile lapha. Nale polluting coal mine labathi bafuna kuyiletha. It's us dialoguing. And from there, taking a position. Lokhu nakutawuda lendvole. Kufuna kute ngalo hlobo lo silengomo ngeke iphile ngaphandle kwaleli khathane. Ingaphila only ngamsho lelikhatha. No. Thina njengaMaswati singaphila thina ngaphandle kobukhosi. In actual fact I'm sure singaphila even very well. So asasiyekele lento yokucabanga ukuthi for every our movement that and for every progress we need as a nation. It's something that must be authorized. By the way, Kaso, asingakhohlwa lokuthi inkosi ayibekwa phela nithi thina sife la. Inkosi ibekwa ngumndeni. Mswati is in power not because we said as a nation, sathi kulabantu abosobusa, this is the sharpest knife in the thrower. No. Sanikwa nje ngumndeni ukuthi hey, nene emalangeni asahlangene nawe. Maybe kube besine would have said no. So asasiyekele lento yokucabanga kokuthi kuneMaswati la gatherisha somewhere abuke ukuthi kulabantwana nangu lo lungele inkosi. The same goes with Tikhulu kubekwa ngumndeni kuyo yonke lemipakathi le. It's not the people who meet and decide ukuthi sicabanga kokuthi nasi sikhulu lesingaba ngeso. And it is this untruths that some, unfortunately, keep on telling this king. Lokho ukuthi hawu ngwenyama ndvuna, hey wabekwa uNkulunkulu wabekwa nangisazange abekwe nisi. Mina bengikhona nakabekwa nesudi lephepuli. We no say. Angisumvanga mina msana. So I'm simply saying okay, ngiyo level lesifuna kuyi-unravela le. So that le live into wakha lakhele emaqinisweni. Because lamhla sinenkinga yalo kusasa sidaba nenkinga yanamacwatha lo ngisiqalo. So we want to correct these things so that our own kids do not live under the same misery. Lesiphila under yona thina nebatali bethu labaphile under yona.
But I think Msutu, in summary, your question, in more ways than one, speak to the question of the process itself. Assuming it will happen, of either dialogue or negotiations. That's where we are taking us to. We are saying as a principle, like I brought them as a movement, for any process to happen, there ought to have been some kind of meeting, at least between and among the parties to the impasse. Those are the people in our view who would begin to tease how they see the process unfolding. You see, now the problem is this: the king wants to have the process in his own way without involving the other side. That's problematic. And that's why he's saying, as far as concerned, every process in his mind must begin at Sibayeni. We have no control what he's going to say when it gets to Sibayeni. But we can welcome, for argument's sake, we can welcome a situation where he announces this team. For instance, that will say, reach out to the other side, and then begin to fashion some kind of an understanding how you think we can move forward as a nation. But that's not happening even. As far as it won't happen. If at the very least we expect the king to announce some kind of Foflibanda, as you say, that will go around the country and pretend to be dialoguing with the people, which we know will be a lie. Exactly. We won't allow that. Exactly.
Some of us are not looking for an elite pact. We're not in a struggle for co-option so that ukona Masego, ukona Dlamini, ukona Mais. That's not what we're looking for.
It's a waste of time.
Move kahle and bala correctly so, because what umcoka lento le mzala le lebekwa Musla.
Yes.
Lokuthi we are not seeking an elite pact. Even if Ingos were to use this buyer to announce an inclusive band, we will still insist ukuthi lelo band sifuna i-dialogue yeMaswati about their own experience, oppression. So lelo bandla lelo might even look at how do we facilitate that happen. Uyabona thina mzala lenkululeko lesifuna ukuthi bantu bakumafuqula banikwe i-chance yokuhlangana and talk about their own experience sukela besusu wesimunye bayolahle emafuqula, including if they want simunye back under their control. So that thing can never be done by some select committee with some sitting allowance decided by a king and announced somewhere in Sibaya that then must go and patronize and pacify bantu. No, we want real dialogue of a Maswati so that labantu bamagongo labesuswa labelangeni nakwakhiwa lama hotel in the early 90s could have a dialogue. Kuthi lenzawo yethu lesen developer dolobha nithi Zuluwini kiyo, what is it that we want as a redress? Because that was historical injustice. Kwesuswa abantu all over the live. Bantu bayabulalana lapha eliyengweni. Ubontu uthuko bantu basuswe ebhunya wabathembisa sobhuza ukuthi uletha lijozi la. Babulalana bodvana lapha. Those people need to dialogue. What is it that lokuhlanyelwa kwalehlahla has brought to them and what impact it has had in their lives? Because nyalo lehlahla sesiyabona seyifondoje yamswati nabonile. That is the dialogue we are talking about.
But the dialogue leyo uzalitaba itawufanana navusela. But mina bengicabanga ukuthi
In what way?
Bengicabanga angithi la vusela nje nafunza lama reports vele cishe ICRC bengikhabarisha yona. Cishe ICRC nje kathanda bebakhuluma the same thing but kwanga implement. Because actually nje mzala ukuthi isithulo lokukhuluma ngiyakuva kuliqiniso kungalibuyisa live siphile kahle ema problems lenteka address. But ngibuka la issue ukuthi eParliament ngicabanga ukuthi sifuna ukuthi maybe next year noma lawyer noma ku 20 banibani kube ne parliament leyakhiwe ngemaphathi bese ke lamaphathi sengula address letinto lethu lokukhuluma ngonyaka so say yathi kwenteka nakho lo nto nangulo bakho ngoba nje you can't address the issue lena sikule system le but you can address lama issues lo since awell 16 lash
No, mzala. Lokuhle ukuthi sobabili besikhona kuvusela. Maybe when you were covering as a journalist, I was disrupting it because it was a nonsensical platform. Let me remind you what was happening in Fusela. Webfika amadvodza laphaya. Kube netulo, kube netafula. So abantu badawukhonjwa bakhulume, basukume bakhulume. Futhi what is it that they would want to see happening about whatever particular issue. That dialogue lengikhuluma ngayo mhlala utawuba abantu baseliyengweni meeting babodwa ba decide ukuthi indingatabo yini hleze bakhethe ema spokespersons abo lentathi nangabe kukhona libandla lentako leader lifike lithi thina baseliyengweni having met over this period of time these are our issues. Hayi vusela lomnye besukuma khulume nge-morning period lomnye afika khulume nge-cattle rustling lomnye asuka khulume ngalokwa nalokwa. It was not issues where communities have, because you see mzala lekufuna ukuthi sibe clear there is no homogeneity in the community grievances across the country. So you must allow each community to able to raise what is pertinent to them. Uyabona nje Nile has announced kuthi nyalo sigodlo nabo bayongenela abantu basemkhondlo lapha with that project he announced during the budget speech. Bantu batawumuka imihlaba kube ne relocation kube now all sort of things. So whenever the grievance they raise labantu badawustim lapha may not be the same as the grievance yabantu bakumalinza lebasuswa kwathiwa kwakhiwa i-airport batawuthola amathuba emsebenzi asalo bayohlala lapha enkopolo batawakhelwe emalongo into banikwe lithange umuntu ngemuntu. We want Swazis because at the end of the day what will ultimately constitute qualitatively lesibita freedom would be what these people have raised as their grievances that if attended to will qualify as a liberation. Asifuni asizabala zeli basema committees. Fact nangaba abuya lama committee nje abavusela I am assuring you now will disrupt them.
Befuna ngedla kana ukuthi le position lesibeka sifuna kubuyela kuyo. Ngubani le complainant? Ngoba le complainant kufuna ukuthi kube ngiyelo letawubeka. Ngibuyela ke ku 72. Ku 72 kuna 2 webantu laba contestal case. Ima elections ayaphuma kuyabonakala naba labantu babili. Imbotho ngala, NNC ngala. Naso ukhuluma uhlala phansi utetafuleni ubita lama leaders alabantu ababili ngoba ngibona labane interest lesikhulumele tukwabo kuthi yini inkingateni. Angeke besothi wena hayi mina ngidawuhamba ngiyofuna labantu abakhethela laba constituencies ala. Uqala la leadership yakho njengoba nanyalo njengoba sihledi la kune PPA kune MSF. Hayi ukuthi sing PPA na MSF because sijabulela nje ukuhlala lapho kwakho sicoce nawo. Yabona, we've got a mandate which comes from our constituencies as political parties mandated by people to speaking about issues abona. Lokufuna ukuthi ke lona lomunye as recognize lokho ukuthi vele sinawo. Nangasi recognize akusho ukuthi soyisolvile le problem yakho. Itabe solikhona ngoba siyinzawo thina sihledi la. Lama issues until yena as recognize akhona ukusibita etafuleni ahlale ngathi angeke asolve. Ngilapho wena sesifike etafuleni sine MSF na PPA. Stawusho khona ukuthi hey thina ngekubona kwethu na iprocess lesitayithatha letasibanga ukuthi sifike ku democracy leseyifuna into hamba ngalendlela le whether 6 months in 2 years isilethela i-constituent assembly isilethela a negotiated government it's up to the negotiation But the problem lengifuna kuyibeka lo lendlela oyibeka ngayo. Now uphuma wena nge-dialogue. So remove lo ukuthi angisasi recognize ithini. Bekumbona lesimandate onabantu. Ngoba nawe uya kulabantu batophize bakutshela abantu ukuthi kunebaholi bethu lapha. Nawe uya lemsunduza bekunabo bani. Bekunebantu nema-leaders abo. Yabo, uhamba uyesiteki bekunebantu nema-leaders abo. Ababi bodwa abantu.
Angisho kanjalo ngayisa. Vele le dialogue ngeke seyibe fruitful. Ni angekho lama leaders alama stakeholders. Ngiyophrela silapha nje ngencalo. Lokusilapho group submission. Bara lokunazana. Lokumuke silapha ngiloko issue. But benginaloko ukuthi benginaloko ukuthi vele ngaso le fundamental political question. Sisakayisho labantu bayathu mina nje khona into letisha lengitivako namuhla letinye ngiyesaba nalokutibhala ngoba ngathi sinyatibhala kusasa lithi awukangivakali khona nje lokunye vele ngidabo avoid ngisitiphe kuloko njenga wena kusane no avoid njenga lokunye nje ngifuna kundawo negotiator full page ukuthi nibhale ni explain kahle letinye. Yes, maybe Sunday next week. Satokuruma na toba yote. Maybe kube kone. Nitibekele kahle. Not me saying Makanya said. Vele Makanya. Vele aibe especially nje msana lenda lobeka ngayo le dialogue. Ukuthi no, leta utasubele kude. I mean, sense ngudle manje. Ba communities. Kanje basibalinza kanje. Don't get it involved. Utibeka ukuthi unpack kahle for the people to understand ukuthi going forward vele sendana. Mina nje bengitshela mina ukuthi assuming ukuthi the fundamental political question ile you choose but ke sengiphendule ukuthi vele I know ukuthi it's a right, it's a fundamental right letinza batabo ukuthi uthi associate but ke mina bengitshela lokho nje ukuthi okay now lokufuneka ko even looks dingudla noma ngamaphakathi ime lapho.
But you see when I'm Msuthu, la sikhatha khona. Le issue ukuthi we are demanding the right to show the fundamental rights. We are demanding, but the fight less liberation. I think lo kufuna nje kubekli. Uyabona Msuthu. Ngiyakuva futhi ukuthi ngoba into ecala uDiv. Mhlawumbe usadzinga sithi unpaid fair. But honestly speaking, now our lineage and history, Sally struggles we've always been consistent. Because this is what we want.
Let's show the value Msuthu abene umcondo ukuthi sine nje sithi lamadodza lalapha ngalobambe eParliament. Lesifuna nje usaqhamuka emaphathini angaqhamuka etimudleni. Baqhubeke abantu bawuhlabule emasini. Baqhubeke abantu bawuhlabule emasini votes ametana.
So lamaphathi
ubekabo bahlabula ngamakhulu.
Nginako okay ukuthi senilamaphati ke sekungasesine system lekahle. Lekhona sesine system lekahle. Na maybe ngandvuna ngolungisha lokhambe emaphathini. Sengiyolungisa leto involve, lungisa leto involve.
Cha yemzala kufuna usibe clear ukuthi multi-party does not equal freedom. It is not given that once kungaba nemaparty. Kunemaparty eUganda. I can give you kunemaparty eZimbabwe. There are a lot of places where there are parties. So multi-party is a means to an end. They are not the end in itself. So
ngifuna mzala ukuthi ngiyekufuna mzala ukuthi ngifuna usibekele kahle siyaku-unpack ngifuna ukuthi at least manje ngithole inzalo ukuthi so uyibeke ukhuluma ngezitrue
Kukahle wena Mkasolo ngoba mina I'm happy ukuthi you are raising because you see that is where the other side tends to cloud our story. They tend to cloud our story for the people not to understand where we are. You are not the only one to cloud, mind you. So I mean, I appreciate the fact that you want us to explain fairly. It's okay, we'll do that for you. But explain leadership, it starts at back. Because we've been very consistent in actually pointing at what we want. And that is why the king and government is saying no, because they know exactly what we're talking about. It's only fooling the other sources in the process. And we're saying you can't fool us no more.
Uyabona nje mzala, as we approach April 19 date yokudalwa kwalo, the business community is worried. Nabo ke sebantu asingconthothela bafuna si-advertise ka-Times emapage ala what lunwele loluthe. The freedom esikhuluma ngayo will just give a business a person a right yokuthi uyafuna yini noma awufuni, uyabona, because nyalo they speak in harsh tones. Hey, mfuna siyibene katawuda sekuyasonzela. Hey, le mkhuleko yeMaswati le mzala uyawubona ngendlela eMaswati la uphuma ngayo njengoba wabona ngaJune July. He himself lapha esibayeni washo ukuthi in every square inch of the country bantu bebaphumile bashisa type, because for a moment Swazis was smelling their freedom. Kuthi suppose saphela. So sengisho ke mzala lokuthi cha Sembutaba successful little page lab, we are always happy to explain our stuff.
No, don't reduce the thing to your cousin. This is a formal process of the leadership of the broad Muslim movement. Don't the family dinners. Don't do this.
We withdraw.
We thank you for your time. We hope that as we continue to engage, things will become clear as we go forward. I think the concern is that we are open on our side. You know, you can ask us anything, but the person remains stubborn in terms of wanting to retain what they have, which continues to undermine the dignity, you know, of the Swazi people. And our struggle is built upon restoring that dignity. And people have been denied dignity, as Makanya says, in their communities. So the liberation that we're talking about, the freedom we're talking about, is to bring back, you know, to the people what belongs to them, which was taken away on April 12, 1973 to date. So thank you very much. Thank you, leadership.
Very soon.